Okay, I'm just gonna wait one more minute here till 6:01, and then we'll get started on the information. All right, I have 6:01, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. I want to start by saying welcome. Uh, you're attending this webinar. It will be recorded, so I'll put it up on YouTube afterwards, and that way people who were here a little late or got here have to leave early, they can kind of see what they missed. But my name is Ryan Joy. I am a very proud alum, class of 2006. I'll do a larger intro of myself in a second, but thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your continued interest in Clarkson. Thank you for being interested in the Clarkson Cruise. The details that you may or may not know as of yet are that the cruise is April 12th through April 20th. Uh, we are sailing on Celebrity Cruises, and it is the Celebrity Reflection. I'm excited to spend this time with you here tonight, and I'm excited for you to learn about the Clarkson Cruise and see if it's right for your vacation this April. So, with that, let's talk about our agenda for the evening. Uh, I'll start with the ship images that you're going to see in the presentation are of the celebrity reflection. So it's not like I'm going to be showing you one thing, and then if you sign up for the cruise, you're going to be getting something else. The pictures in this presentation are of the celebrity reflection itself. I also want to tell you that I'm not going to spend time talking about celebrities' branding and their slogans and things like that. If this was a webinar that was delivered by celebrity, they would do all that. But I'm going to get to the heart of the matter and get to the things that I think you're most interested in. And I'm probably only going to be speaking for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll be opening it up for questions that you may have as pertains to the cruise. By the way, in that regard, the chat box is open. So if you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to type them in there, and I will most likely not get them to them until the end. But don't wait on a question. If you think of it, just throw it in there. Um, I will tell you why Celebrity was chosen as the cruise line of choice for this, and I'll tell you why the Southern Caribbean was our destination of choice for the itinerary. We'll spend our time talking about the itinerary, the experience that you're going to have on board and in the ports, and we'll wrap things up with talking about the pricing and the bonuses and things like that. So once again, you can decide whether or not the trip is right for you and your family to take this April. So about me, Ryan Joy, class of 2006. I'm a graduate of the School of Business. In the 05-06 school year, I was the CUSA president. If you don't know what that is, it's the Clarkson Student Government. I was also in the CEO Business Club. I'm a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity. I wrote for and delivered the integrator, and I can tell you that writing for the integrator was a lot easier than delivering the integrator, especially in the middle of January in Potsdam, New York, when it's like 30 degrees or less and you're walking around with big stacks of newspaper trying to get them from building to building. Uh, Definitely easier job to write for the paper. Um, in my senior year, I was honored to be admitted into Clarkson's Honor Society Phalanx. And away from Clarkson, I live in Florida with my wife Maggie, who is also an '06 grad. I am a travel agent with Creating Magic Vacations. I'm a self-professed Disney World expert, and I am obsessed with the slide says a good slice of pizza, but pretty much any pizza in general. I kind of think that whether it's a garbage slice or a good slice, it's better than most other foods that I could have. And I always say, life is short, eat a cookie, have a pizza, go on a vacation. So with that, I think you kind of know what you're getting with me and whatnot. You have all the information you need to know to from me. So let's get on to the cruise itself. So I am the one who brought this idea to the alumni office. And so as I pull this itinerary up for you to see now, I think it's a good time to tell you why Celebrity and why this itinerary. First and foremost, Celebrity Cruises is a premium cruise line. It is part of the Royal Caribbean family, yes, but it's positioned as an elevated experience. And so, to be completely blunt with you, I felt like in doing this cruise and putting my name on it and putting Clarkson's name on it, that I needed to safeguard our reputation. So I had to choose a cruise line that I could trust to have an elevated experience and in the areas of decor and food and service. And I think Celebrity is probably the most capable of living up to that elevated experience in those areas. It is, after all, often referred to as a foodie's cruise line. So I feel good about that choice. Now, regarding the itinerary, the Southern Caribbean was chosen because it is a bit more rare of an itinerary. I believe that most people that enjoy cruising have really already done the Eastern Caribbean, places like St. Thomas and St. Martin, and the Western Caribbean, especially places like Cozumel and Honduras and Belize. So, as you can see from this itinerary, we are going to Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. These are considered the Southern Caribbean. And I think the reason a lot of people have not done the Southern Caribbean is that it takes a bit to get there from Florida. So we'll have 2 sea days on either side of our round trip Fort Lauderdale itinerary. Now, for us, I think that's great because we want to spend some time kind of with each other, networking and talking to one another and kind of reminiscing about our Clarkson experience. So I think having the sea days is actually a great thing for us. And we'll talk about some of the various things that we can do and we have planned for on those sea days here in a moment. But I want to start with talking about our destinations. So, as I mentioned, we are heading to Aruba on April 15th, Curacao on April 16th, and Bonaire on April 17th. These are countries and territories of the Netherlands. So they are a Dutch controlled and they are Dutch controlled and collectively known as the ABC Islands. They enjoy year-round temperatures in the 80s and 90s, so it'll be very warm and comfortable for us. And they're also known for their picture-perfect, postcard-worthy beaches. So on the next couple of slides, I will highlight at least one excursion that's offered by Celebrity in each of these ports. That'll give you an idea of the activities that you can do in each area and also a general vibe for what you're going to experience in the ABC Islands. Okay, starting with Aruba, where their motto is One Happy Island. I want to focus, to just kind of give you some context, on the 4x4 off-road Jeep Safari excursion that Celebrity offers. This is a small group experience where you get to see several highlights of Aruba. You'll get to see stunning rock formations, a Blackstone Beach, or Blackstone Beach is the name of it, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of sand, there are black stones. So it's a very picturesque thing to see. You'll journey through Frenchman's Pass. Now, Frenchman's Pass is a narrow path where French pirates tried to invade Aruba, but they met in the fierce resistance from the indigenous people. So we'll get to see Frenchman's Pass if you go on this excursion. And on top of that you'll also go to Aruba's gold mill. Now they're abandoned now, but yes, there was a gold rush in Aruba. So very interesting kind of fact you don't often think about seeing something like that in the Caribbean. And of course, there are plenty of other things to do in Aruba, as you'll see on the slide. Will be there's things like the Sunset Cocktail Cruise. This thing I have listed, Natural Bridge, Butterfly Farm, and Eagle Beach. That's one excursion. You get to do all three things. But of course, snorkeling, sightseeing, submarines, glass bottom boats, the whole thing. Lots and lots of things to do in Aruba. And the nice thing is, we will be there from 8:30 in the morning to 8:30 at night. So you could do an excursion. You can do something else. You can take a taxi someplace. You have a lot of time in Aruba, which is very nice. I think that, and it'll be the same thing as we move to Curacao. And I think that it's one of the things to look for when you're booking a cruise is how much time you have in destination. Sometimes you might visit a place and only be there for 4 or 5 hours. It's really nice that in both Aruba and Curacao, we're there for 11 or 12 hours. So Curacao is where they say live and let live. And if you've ever wanted to play with dolphins, Curacao is a place where you can do that. But like Aruba, there are a ton of things to do here. You can take a snorkel tour, walking tour, taste of Curacao tour. You can learn about the medicinal properties of local herbs. You could get off the cruise ship and board a catamaran to do a different water experience. And there's just, so again, snorkel, beach days, all the things. We're going to be there from 8:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night. So it's another full day in port as discussed previously. Our last stop is Bonaire. And here they say, once a visitor, always a friend. And I know I had a picture actually of a flamingo on the Curacao slide. And you can see them in Curacao. But interestingly, with Bonaire, they are a highlight of half a dozen or more excursions in Bonaire. So there's a very high population of pink flamingos there. So if it's something that you'd like to see or seek out, Bonaire is a place where you can go to do that. But if you are in search of adventure, this is your port. They have a lot of things to offer. There's ATV tours and there are buggy tours. And when I say buggy, I'm not talking like a horse and buggy. This is more like a motorized off-road golf cart type of experience. Um, but when you do those, you have to watch out for the wild donkeys that roam Bonaire. So I think that's kind of a fun and cute thing to know about Bonaire is that they have wild donkeys. Again, lots of adventure here. Kayaking, 4x4, Jeep Safari thing, bike tours, tons of other things. We're going to be here until 3:30, so it's not quite as long as we are in Aruba or Curacao, but still a good chunk of time in Bonaire for sure. So now let's transition to talk about those sea days because like we mentioned, there were four of those. So let's talk about what is available to you on the boat. Um, Again, the sea days are going to be great for socializing. They're going to be great for us networking and talking to one another, and just spending time reminiscing. But some of the things that are included is the classic beverage package, which includes beer, wine, and liquor up to a certain price. And you're also going to get the ship's classic Wi-Fi package, which is going to be great for email and posting pictures to your social media accounts. Honestly, if you get on one of those ATVs, you better get a picture of yourself on the ATV, or if you're standing there with a flock of flamingos behind you, you better get that too. You'll want to post that to your Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. And the Wi-Fi package and the beverage package, those are premium upgrades that we're getting with our cruise fare. So just a mention of those now. We'll come back to them a bit later, but there is a ton of things to do. There's comedy shows, there's music, there's duty-free shopping, and I kind of compare the Celebrity Reflection. I was on it in September. I compare it to Market Street in Potsdam. You cannot throw a stone without hitting one or two bars. So if you'll be able to take really good advantage of that classic beverage package on the Celebrity Reflection. Of course, the Reflection has a pool deck, like most cruise ships do. I don't think there's any surprise there, but they also have a very nice air-conditioned indoor space that they call the solarium. And this solarium has a pool pretty much equivalent inside to the one that or equivalent in size to the one that they have outside. They have hot tubs, they have waiters coming around to, serve you beverages off of your classic beverage package, which I should also mention includes the sodas and the coffees and all those things too. So you get all that kind of wrapped into the package. Um, I like to joke that entry into the casino is always free. What you do with your money once you're in there, that's totally up to you. But of course, you can always go in there for free. And there are going to be art seminars on the ship. So if you're a collector or someone with a casual interest in art, that is always something that's fun to do. But warning, there probably will be a sales pitch at some point during the art exhibit. So, but there's just tons to do on the boat. And if those things that I just mentioned weren't kind of enough to keep you busy or keep you excited. I should mention there's also a game room, a library. There's all kinds of things to do. But if that stuff's not enough, there are ways that you can kind of plus up your experience. You can add things that come at a bit of an upcharge, but there are a bunch of cooking classes. You can see the steak master class and sushi. You know, I'll be at that pizza making class based on my introduction. So yes, where you'll find me. But there's also whiskey and bourbon tasting, wine tastings too. Um, one thing I don't want to skip over is the galley to table tour, which is at a cost, like everything on this page. But this is something that I did in September on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. And if you're someone who might have an interest in ship operations or ever wondered what the kitchen of a cruise ship where they're serving thousands of people might be like, this is a really cool thing to do. Also, by the way, I think it's kind of nice and reassuring to know that they have no problem bringing all the customers through the kitchen. So you can kind of know in your mind that it's a clean place and everything. Um, there is also a spa, so you can get all the various massage treatments. There's something that they call the Persian Garden. Now, the Persian Garden is kind of what you would, in your mind, think of as like your spa day. It's got those nice heated lounge chairs that you can sit in, read a book, do whatever. And then there's the cold rooms and the hot rooms, the saunas, and that kind of thing, where you can go from room to room and then back to the chairs. So, the Persian Garden uh, and the spa treatments and stuff, they are at a premium. There is a fee for that. I do want to mention though that all celebrity ships and all celebrity itineraries, they have a selection of rooms that include the Persian Garden experience. So if that's something that you're really amped about doing, let me know because we do have some of those rooms in our block available. Now, not a lot of them, and they are more expensive than the typical balcony room, so it's not going to be the prices that I show later, but we do have them. So if you're interested, let me know and we can try to get you in one of those. Of course, we talked about the casino already, but they'll also do bingo a few times, and there will be art auctions to go along with those art seminars, and they're fun to go to even if you don't bid on anything. So a lot of fun. If anyone is interested in doing one of these type of things as a group, let me know and I can try to help coordinate that with the other alumni. But that is the cruise in a nutshell. We've kind of talked about the things that you can do on the boat. We've talked about the ports, and I think that gives you a pretty good understanding of the cruise itself. So the next thing that we're going to do is move into pricing and bonuses and extras that we are getting as part of this Clarkson group. So let's move into that. Okay, we essentially have three categories of rooms. We have inside staterooms, which have no windows. We have ocean view staterooms, which have a window. And we have a veranda stateroom, which has a balcony. All of the rooms are going to be pretty much the same, not exact, but they'll be pretty close, except for that viewing option of no window, window, or balcony. In fact, if you look at these pictures that are on the screen, you can actually see that the veranda room and the ocean view room have the same artwork. So they're going to be very close. Most people have a strong preference for the balcony rooms, so that is what we have the most of in our block. I do want to say if you're interested in an inside room or an ocean view room, they are somewhat limited supply at this point. So if you want those, it's best to get in contact with me sort of immediately and let me know that so that we can get you booked into one of those before they sell out. So, but now I want to talk about the value, and you can kind of see it here on the slide, but the price that I've just mentioned is a double occupancy price. So that's the price for two people. Inside staterooms 3194, ocean view staterooms 3612, and veranda staterooms 4158. But our group is getting some pretty high value items bundled right into our price. You get the classic beverage package for both guests, and that usually costs $1,100. So that's 550 a person. So that's quite a bit. You're not paying for that though. You're getting that for free. Same thing with that classic Wi-Fi package, which, if I'm being honest with you and with myself, I can't go without it. I needed to share my adventures with people back home. Um, it's normally $335, but we get it for free. And when you combine the value of those two things, that's $1,435 of extras that we're getting just wrapped into our cruise price. That's almost the same cost as a person in the inside stateroom. So when you combine the value of those things. So that's the pricing, and you've got that. So I'm going to move on from that. Um, except I do have one more thing I want to mention. Um, I've been working with Celebrity a lot lately. I've done a lot of cruise bookings with them this year, and so I've learned how to game them a little bit. Uh, basically, as long as I'm the one doing the booking, I have a promo code that I can apply to save you an additional $200. So now that brings your savings up to 1635, and an entry level person, the cost for an entry level person in an inside stateroom is actually $1,500. So it's below the value of the extras that you're getting for a stateroom. So you're still getting with this, you're getting the Wi-Fi, the drink package, all that. And if you happen to be a veteran, police officer, or firefighter, there's additional promos that we can add to your cruise as well. So keep that in mind. And one more thing, this is a bonus for being here. The stuff before was from Celebrity, but this one is from me. Anyone that joins us for the Clarkson Cruise as a result of this webinar will also receive between $100 and $150 in onboard credit. So now you're looking at a potential savings of $1,785 for a veranda stateroom. Um, I want to be considerate to the people that have booked before this webinar, and in so doing, I'll mention that they also got onboard credits as part of their whenever they booked. Some of them got early promotion, some of them had this same offer from the last webinar. So most people that have already booked actually got onboard credits as well. So this is the current offering that I'm able to give the people that book as a result of this webinar. But that's not it. Of course, we're going to have a bunch of free stuff. There's going to be swag. I've had these Golden Knights of the Caribbean magnets made. Everybody will get one of those. There will be a car magnet that everybody gets. There's going to be sunglasses. There's going to be more stuff that I don't even have images from quite yet, but and that we're not talking about yet. But there will, of course, be a bunch of free stuff. So, what else? Well, we also are going to have two private cocktail parties. The details aren't completely firm yet, but I think they'll be on day 2 and day 7 in Sellers Masters, which is a beautiful space, as you can see from these photos. This is going to be a really nice way for us to kick off the cruise and get to know one another, and then also a great way for us to kind of say goodbye at the end. So we have these cocktail parties that we'll be doing as part of our itinerary. What else? Well, and this is just something fun that I do. And I do it for every Clarkson person that travels, that's going to be traveling on the Clarkson Cruise, but I also do it for anybody that books any sort of travel with me in general that's from Clarkson. I put the men's and women's hockey schedule on a greeting card and I send it out each year. The 24 and 25 season will be wrapped up before we sail, but I'll have you on the list to receive the card for next year. And uh, I do this because I think it's neat that we can go on ESPN Plus and watch the games these days, but you often need a little reminder that the game is going on. So I have the card, you put it on your fridge or whatever, there you go. What else? Okay, so I've also arranged for the Clarkson group to dine together on 3 nights of the cruise. Of course, that's not going to be like mandatory if you don't want to eat with us, if you don't have to. But if you want to network and you want to talk with fellow alums, this would be a fun place to do that. Um, by the way, if you this picture, the bigger picture in this slide, um, if you focus on it, you can see that this big structure is actually a wine rack. It's a multi-story wine rack. You can even see a guy standing in it. I believe it's actually 3 stories. This show is clearly showing 2, but I believe it's actually 3. So, pretty cool thing. And I've talked about pizza a few times, so I will say, not that they don't serve pizza in the main dining room, and no cruise line has what I would call Sergi's quality pizza. But the main dining room is no joke. Like I mentioned, it's a foodies cruise, so it's great food, and because we have these 3 nights arranged, we'll be great food with great company. Okay, and of course, um, if you're on the cruise, you're going to be the first to know about the future Clarkson Cruise plans. We are going to be sailing again in 2026, and I'll reveal the details during this cruise, probably during one of the uh, happy hours that we have. Also give a special offer to anyone that wants to do another Clarkson cruise. So it'll be like a bounce back offer. The photos here are just hints, so there's no promises here or anything like that. But these are 3 very different destinations, so you can make your guesses at where we might go in 2026. Okay, so this is the time sensitive part. The absolute last day that I can take a reservation is December 7th. I need to release the rest of the room block back to Celebrity on that day. So if you're interested, now is the time to take action. Now is the time to sign up. The deposit is $250 per person, so it's $500 total. Final payment is also coming though very quickly though. It's January 7th. Normally you have more time between, but because we are kind of down to the wire now, uh, they are somewhat close together. Okay, so I think you've got most of the information from me at this point. So if you want to book, the easiest thing you can do is text or call me at 315-212-9775. You can also feel free to email me with your interest at ryanjoy@creatingmagicvacations.com. I'm going to leave this slide up so that you can take down my information, and I will open it up for questions at this point. So uh, if there are any questions, go ahead and throw those in the Zoom chat and I will see them. We didn't get any throughout the presentation, but if you have any now, you can also private message me there if you'd like. Um, and we will take those questions. While I'm waiting for any potential questions to come in, I will mention that this picture of me sitting in this big chair and this green grass around the outside, this is actually the top deck of the Celebrity Reflection. So it's kind of a nice space. There is a question, what is the first responder um, discount? I don't exactly know, but it's going to be somewhere in like the $100 range on that. There's a question coming in, how many people are enrolled and asking if there is any older. Is a fun thing about this cruise is that we have somebody turning 80 that's going to be on the cruise, and we have somebody turning 30 that's going to be on the cruise, and we have people that are younger than that. We actually have somebody that graduated in this, people that have graduated in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. So we have a really nice spread of people that are going to be on the cruise. The only decade we're missing is the 80s, and I don't know, I can't explain why that is, but that's the case. Um, and somebody's asking if this seminar has the same info as the first seminar. I would say it's a bit different because when I did the last one, I invited somebody from Celebrity to do the talk, and they spent a lot of time talking about their branding and stuff like that. So there was a little bit less time focused on our specific itinerary and our specific plans. So this was a much more Clarkson focused webinar. So by the way, if you joined late, this this was recorded, and I'll be posting it to YouTube and I'll have the alumni office send the link out so that you can catch up. What other questions do folks have? Okay, somebody's asking how Celebrity compares to Regent and Oceania. Um, Regent and Oceania, sorry, are definitely a more luxury brand. It's interesting, like so it's Celebrity is part of the Royal Caribbean family, and if you're familiar with Regent, and then you are probably also familiar with Silver Sea. So Royal has Royal Caribbean as their mass market product. They have Celebrity, which is their premium product. And then they have Silver Sea, which is comparable to Regent and Regent and like Windstar and the other small ships. Celebrity is going to be a bit of a bigger ship than those ones, and it will be a premium experience, but not a luxury experience. 3,000 is the passenger count, so it's not going to be 300 like what you'd be used to on Regent. It's going to be closer to like that 3,000 ish, but still, that's half the size of some of the new Royal Caribbean ships. So it's a good size ship. I found it when I was on it in September pretty easy to navigate and get around. There is a good section. The top deck, like I mentioned, it has that solarium and then it has the pool deck. So it's pretty easy to get from space to space. And there is a couple of major corridors down on deck like 3 and 4 and 5 that you can have a lot of the shopping and some of the bars and things like that. So most of the stuff that you would be going to is kind of consolidated into a couple of different spaces. So hopefully that answers the question. And now the question is the price 1.5 the person rate, which is usually standard from what people have seen in the past? I have to actually check on a case by case basis, but generally speaking, yeah, it's going to be there's going to be a solo supplement there, so it'll be closer to the price that you pay for two people, even if you're one. I always tell people to try to find a roommate if you can, um, and that's that. Next question is mentioned dinner reservations for 3 nights. Do we have to make advanced reservations for other nights? Um, Otherwise, so Celebrity has two seatings. It's like a 6 o'clock and 8:30, and they also have something called Anytime. I am fond of the Anytime. Now you don't need to have the Anytime. You can do the if you really want to have the same server every night and stuff like that, then we can get you assigned to one of those two dining windows. Just let me know which one you prefer. I like the Anytime because then I can look at what the ship's schedule is and then just go when I want. It doesn't have to be 6, it could be 6:30 or 6:45. And based on my experience in September on the reflection, I walked in, so it was no problem at all. What larger suites are available? They do have larger suites. They have also concierge and other types of things like that. I will have to check the inventory to tell you for sure what is available at this point. Lots of questions. It's good. Okay. I think we may have got through them though. So uh, if I will kind of stall here for a few seconds, but how many people have enrolled? I believe at present we are at 35 people on the cruise. So it's a good number. Not, you know, not 350, not 1,000, but it's a great number. So it'll be easy to get to know everybody, which I think is kind of fun. All right. I think we have exhausted the questions, so I will stop there. If you have additional questions, hopefully you've had time to take down my email address and then you can shoot me some of those questions over email or text me or whatever. But like I said, if you're thinking about doing the cruise, I think now is the time to act and get in touch with me and we'll get you booked. All right, thanks so much, everybody.